Welcome in to this conversation about ancestral healing and intuitive lineage readings. Today, we are going to jump right into talking about the 10th chakra. And the 10th chakra really is one of the most obvious and agreed upon energy centers in our, I'm not going to say our body because the 10th chakra is not in our body, but it's the major part of our energy system that can be used for ancestral healing. And this is very much related also to how the layer and the vibration of fear can hold us back from actually having true, meaningful healing. So, yeah, today we're going to do a 10th chakra healing, and we're also going to just have a few minutes around a discussion of fear and how that can hold us back from that meaningful ancestral healing. So, Kat, I wanted to welcome you to the room and to the stage, and I'd like to turn it over to you and just get your take a little bit. Maybe we can just jump right in and kick off our discussion around fear.
Ooh, well, Kristin, awesome. Thank you. And hello, everyone. I am delighted to be back here again this week talking about ancestral healing and maybe doing some intuitive lineage readings. Fear is a theme that keeps coming up for me. Recently, I actually did 2 podcast interviews this morning and that came up. We were talking about fear and the part about it relating to the ancestral lineage or ancestral healing. What's been coming up is that some of the fear that I've noticed or the fears that I've had over the years, they weren't mine, or they weren't all mine. And some of it was my mother's, and I'm sure some of it goes deeper and further back than that. And it's not about placing blame on my mother or a family member, but fear lives in our body, it lives in our mind, it lives in our energy system, and it's not always ours. So I'm really leaning more and more into how can we maybe remove some of those layers of fear or work through them through this ancestral healing process. I think it's really pivotal and I can't wait to learn more, or I know some, but have you share more about your thoughts on the 10th chakra and how that can help people with ancestral healing and working through fear. I think it's really powerful. And I don't know if you have any more comments on that, if I want me to pass it back to you or have me keep sharing.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to take a step back and talk a little bit about something you just said. And again, it's something that just kind of popped for me. When we're talking about ancestral healing, I think that blame, guilt, shame are actually a vibration that can, it's almost like those are fear adjacent emotions or fear adjacent or fear-based emotions that also hold us back. And I do think that some of the vibrations we hold in our 10th chakra that hold us back from healing, I think some of this is the blame and the guilt and the shame. So can we talk a few minutes about that? And then we'll be sure to work that into our experience today when we do our 10th chakra healing. But any thoughts here on the blame game?
Ooh, blame, shame, and guilt. Yeah, we can go there. As someone who spent some years in blaming others for, you know, certain things in our life, I have familiarity from that point of view, but also carrying the shame. And those were my own thoughts or emotions, and really making the shift to heal it. I think working with the chakras and different forms of energy work is, in addition to talking it out with someone, has really helped. But many of us carry it. And I think in our culture right now, there is an energy of victimhood that's perpetrated because it's easier to control people when they're in that energy. And it's about blaming. It's about blaming someone else for what you don't have or what it didn't happen or what did happen. And instead of grounding into the truth of like who we are and taking ownership and responsibility for our part in it, our own experience, doing forgiveness work, whatever it is, so that we can release the blame and be sovereign in our own energy and just make the choice to, okay, whatever happened, happened, but I can still do, be, or have what I would love. So I think, Yeah, we can totally talk more about blame and shame and all the things if you want to go down that route. But I am curious because although I've learned so much about the 10th chakra from you, is there a way we weave this in that can help us release blame or shame?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll definitely do that today. I like to think about blame, shame, guilt um, as vibrations and as those lower vibrations. So, one of the things we'll do today is we'll use some of that divine light that we also worked with in another discussion that we had to clear out those vibrations, so getting those frequencies out. But then one of the things we're going to do today with the 10 chakra experience that I don't see done in a lot of other places is to actually clear out the 10th chakra for those higher vibe experiences, but then to actually bring that energy into the body. So for me, it's about a clearing, but then it's also about the somatic experience of opening up, of letting go of some of that tightening of our muscles, where sometimes I think those vibrations, they're not a natural state of our soul. And sometimes we constrict because we're just trying to hold ourselves together, right? That we know there's something in here that doesn't belong, and we just need to like sit tight so that it doesn't spread further into our soul. So yeah, I think we're going to clear that out. One of the things I do want to say about this is when we think about the ancestral wounds that we have inherited, sometimes we can also think about in our lifetime how we may have perpetuated those wounds, right? I think a lot of us who are interested in ancestral healing are likely cycle breakers in our family, and that's wonderful. I mean, it can feel like a burden sometimes to carry that role in your lineage, which stretches back, as far as you can even imagine. But if we are perpetuating a family pattern or again, that wound, sometimes it's hard to let go of the guilt around that. And what we will do today is just imagine what it would be like to find the freedom from not just the pattern that we inherited, but maybe some of that blame or shame around perpetuating that ancestral wound. Um, so I'll pause there, Kat, and see if you have anything you want to add to that, and then we can actually jump right into talking about the 10th chakra.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Kristin. And I think that just having these conversations and shining some light on it really ideally helps people who are listening or engaging notice in their own body, in their own mind or their energy field, like where am I holding on to blame or guilt or shame, and how has it limited me, and would I love to release it? And just that act of shifting that awareness and asking those questions can really help, because what you shared is so powerful, and doing it at the energetic level, and there's many different ways to work with this energetically. This is one tool that you have found, especially in our work together, to be very useful for people. So I just wanted to share that. I also wanted to share, Kristin, if it's okay for people coming into the room, like hello, Yamaja and Fatih, Sarah, President, Realte, or Take Him, for being here and listening. Kristin and I have been chatting a little bit about the 10th chakra, blame, shame, and guilt. We're going to talk briefly more, and Kristin's going to guide us through an energetic experience on the 10th chakra. And then we're going to open hand raising after that. If someone wants to share about their experience, we'll also be offering some intuitive lineage readings from both of us for a small donation of $11, if that's completely optional. But we're going to do all of this first so that if you're here, you can learn more about the 10th chakra, how it affects these things, and have this experience with us today that Kristin will guide us through. So now I'm going to turn it back to you, Kristin.
Okay, great. And when we opened this room, we did talk about the 10th chakra as being one of the most obvious places that we can go for ancestral healing, and for ancestral healing that shows up in a meaningful way in our physical life. And what I mean by obvious is that it's, well, one, it's easy to find. working with the 10th chakra is so amazing. But the other thing I think of it as obvious is because it's something that comes up in many teachings, right? So, going back to the ancient teachings that we often see in shamanic healing, all the way through the quantum healing modalities that we're seeing come as well. So let's do maybe just 5 or 10 minutes talking about what the 10th chakra is, where it's located, and how do we access it. And then we will set ourselves up for a very gentle experience with actually clearing out the 10th chakra. We're going to get some good healing done right here in the room together, and hopefully that'll set you up for just for maybe a new experience as you step into your life after this discussion. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the 10th chakra and where it is. I'm not sure if folks can raise their hands or give me any kind of emoji, but are we all familiar with the chakra system? Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of activity yet. So I'll just kind of go back to the beginning and talk a little bit about the chakra system. I'm guessing that a lot of you are familiar with the chakras. They are energy centers that are located both within our body, but also in our energy field. Chakras 1 through 7 are our in-body chakras, right? Those are the ones that are located. Our root chakra is down. Different traditions tell us, root chakra is either at the tailbone area or in the lumbar spine around L4, L5. So, and then of course, our seventh chakra is at the crown of our head. So we have these seven energy systems, seven chakras in body. And then I like to work with um, up to chakras 11 or 12. Kat, I know that you work up to 16. When you look at the different ways that different indigenous peoples use chakra systems, they vary slightly around the world depending on where you are. But most agree 1 through 7 in the body. And then above our crown, we have chakras 8 and 9. Chakra 8 is our portal into the field, it's our portal into the Akashic records. I love chakra 8. It's like when we work with our eighth chakra, maybe we'll do this someday. It's like once you go in there, you open the door and you can basically go anywhere you want from the eighth chakra. And then above the eighth chakra, too, kind of at the very edge of our auric field above our head, chakra 9 is often referred to as the soul star. And chakra 9 actually holds a lot of our soul codes for this lifetime, right? So it's the chakra that is most closely related or located towards the divine, and it holds our archetypes for this lifetime, but it's sort of that interface between the divine and then our experience here in this lifetime. Now, alternatively, chakra 10 is located in the ground below your feet, and chakra 10 is sometimes known as the earth star. And the 10th chakra is one of the first things that forms in the womb, even before your physical body starts to take shape. And what the 10th chakra does is it actually roots you in the earth so that you can realize your fullest potential in your physical form in this lifetime. Okay, we will be doing some work with that. And the 10th chakra also holds your destiny. It holds every bit of ancestral imprinting, all of your codes. So working with the 10th chakra can be very powerful. And a lot of times too, if you have a very stubborn physical issue, like you can work with your in-body chakras, right? So for instance, if you're having gut issues, you can go into your second chakra, which is located in that area. It's sort of attuned into the organs around it. But if you're just having a stubborn problem and you don't know what to do, going down into the 10th chakra is a really good place to start because it's kind of the clearinghouse for all of the information, all of the codes that that you bring with you from lifetime to lifetime. And again, we work with the 10th chakra for ancestral healing. And what we're going to do today is we're going to bring our awareness down into our 10th chakra. We're going to use divine light, sometimes known as absolute light. We'll also use sound as well. And what we'll do is we will clear out any ancestral patterns or codes that no longer serve you or your lineage. And at the same time, we'll activate those codes that you need, again, to live your fullest potential in your physical form in this lifetime. And then we'll bring that energy up into your body. So that's kind of like a 10th chakra 101. I wanted to pause there. Kat, I know that you also work with the chakra system. I wanted to see if you had anything you wanted to add.
No, that was a great overview of the first 10 chakras, Kristin. Thank you. I'm not going to add a lot because I want to jump into the experience, because we're going to talk about next week, I think, the major chakra, what I call the 13th chakra in my system, because they marry so well together. But what you were talking about, and I could visualize, the 10th chakra under our feet when we were talking earlier about blame, shame, and guilt. I could almost feel it bubbling up in through parts of our lineage. And I know that these are common emotions or vibrations that so many people carry. And I love how we're going to be guided to remove them with the codes, but also replace them. So my only thought, and if it's okay, is like, as I set my intention to do this, I'm going to work with releasing intentionally more of the blame, shame, and guilt, because that's the topic that we started riffing on earlier. But whatever anyone wants to release, and Kristin will guide us through, I think is really valuable and helpful to do some healing work today. So over to you, Kristin.
Okay, fantastic. So, welcome everyone. I see some people popping in and out of the room. Just wanted to let you know, if you're ready, we are going to do some ancestral healing right now. So it'll probably be about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So if you have the time to sit here and join us, we would absolutely love that. And of course, if you do need to pop out, you can always catch the replay as well. So why don't we all start by finding your most comfortable and relaxed position? One of the things about healing is that if your nervous system is not relaxed, we often can create our own resistance to healing. So there's no, I mean, if you want to sit up with, your strong spine and soft body, that works, but really find your most comfortable position. And whatever that is for you now is perfect. There's no right or wrong way to do any of this. And then if it feels good to you, you can go ahead and close your eyes and start to bring some of your awareness from your outside world into your body. And again, just remember there's no right or wrong way to do this. You're perfect exactly as you are in this moment. And let's take 3 deep breaths together. So keep going with your natural breath. And again, with every inhale, we're going to fill ourselves up. And with the exhale, we're going to relax our muscles and our nervous system. So take one more natural breath. And now let's all take a deep inhale, your belly, your pelvis, your sides, and a complete exhale. Drop your shoulders and relax. Another deep inhale into your belly, your back, your sides. And a complete exhale as you relax the muscles around your tailbone, let your belly hang out. And one more really deep breath all the way into your nervous system. And with your exhale, relax your whole body from your scalp to your toes. And return to your natural breath. Bring your awareness deeper into your body and give yourself permission to just ignore everything in your outer world for the next 10 minutes. and focus on you. Now bring your awareness from your body into the center of your heart chakra, just located right in front of your spine between your pectoral muscles. And again, as you bring your awareness into your heart chakra, have this experience be about you, and just greet yourself as a spirit. And just from your heart chakra, radiate out your spirit's energy into your body, into your mind, out into your aura, and surrender this whole experience over to your spirit. Your spirit knows what to do. And now from your heart chakra, go ahead and call in any spirit guides that you want to help you during this healing. If you've never worked with spirit guides before, that's okay. Just call in your most benevolent guides who have volunteered to walk side by side with you in this lifetime. And if you can sense them or not, just maybe send a hello and a thank you for being here. And now let's call in a very special guide for today's experience. So again, bring your awareness into your heart and ask an ancestor who existed before your current generational wounds to come forward. Just sense whatever it is that presents to you. And this ancestor holds your complete set of codes. It holds your healthiest patterns. It holds your ancestral gifts that exist deep within you, but that were expressed, and again, before your modern day ancestral wounds and patterns. And ask this ancestor to walk with you through this whole experience and provide you with the information and the codes that you need to heal. And then finally, as we're building our foundation for healing, let's acknowledge Mother Earth. Let's acknowledge source energy. They exist within and around you. And of course, you're the perfect mixture of both. And they're going to guide you through this experience as well. All right, so we have our guides, we have our own spirit. Again, let your mind go. Let your body feel the healing. Bring your awareness even deeper into your heart chakra. And now we're going to travel down our central meridian into our 10th. So just start to bring your awareness from your heart chakra down right in front of your spine. You'll pass through your third chakra at your solar plexus. You'll pass through your second chakra behind your navel. You'll pass through your first chakra around your tailbone and lumbar. And now bring your awareness, your central meridian keeps going. Bring your awareness down through your tailbone. And in a straight line, it's going to go down into the earth, about 2 feet below your feet. And just with your awareness, your intention, your sensations, find yourself connecting into your 10th chakra. And just sense whatever it is about your 10th chakra. Maybe you imagine yourself just surrendering into your 10th chakra so much that you imagine that you're in a chamber and you're in the center of your 10th chakra and you're just in this chamber that holds all of your genetic and ancestral information. Just get comfortable here and now, with help of your guides, your spirit, Mother Earth, Source, Universe, God, however you relate, ask for that divine light and sound to shine through from the center of your 10th chakra. And like a sun, it's going to start to shine in all directions, side to side, all sides, front and back. And let that divine light and sound shine through with the intention that it dissolves all ancestral codes and patterns that are outdated and work against your fullest potential. So take a moment now to just experience the divine light and sound, the divine light and sound, pulsing through your 10th chakra and clearing out every nook and cranny of everything that doesn't support your full potential and your full optimized health. And now set the intention that as this divine light and sound pulses through your 10th chakra, it clears out all vibrations related to blame, shame, guilt, any feelings of unworthiness, powerlessness. If you feel unlovable, let this divine light shake loose those vibrations and just dissolve them away. And let this divine light and sound just continue to clear. And even as this experience comes to closure, that divine light and sound will continue to clear at the perfect pace for you. And now let's go ahead and activate your ancestral gifts. And let's go ahead and bolster up those patterns and codes that fully support you in this lifetime. So again, bring your awareness deep into your 10th chakra and ask that special ancestor to provide you with any missing information, codes, patterns. Maybe you imagine that this ancestor places their hands on your 10th chakra and with love just transfers that wisdom to you. And as these activations go in your 10th chakra, they're also offered to everyone in your lineage, those ancestors that came before you and the ones that will come after. And let your 10th chakra fill up. I'm seeing a lot of gold. If you relate to that, the gold patterns, the gold codes, all this information, it's filling in the gaps. Good. All right. And now to close out this experience, let's imagine that this new, vibrant, active, dynamic energy from your 10th chakra starts to now distribute into your body. So this energy is going to move up from your 10th chakra through your central meridian, comes up between your feet, between your ankles, between your knees, between your thighs. And again, all the codes and patterns and information, it comes into your tailbone and it fills up your first chakra, keeps moving up, fills up your second, up into your third. Again, this beautiful energy into your heart chakra. And let it continue rising. It goes up your central meridian into the 5th chakra at your throat, into the 6th chakra in the center of your brain, behind your eyes, to your 7th chakra at the crown of your head. And it continues to move up into your 8th chakra, your 9th chakra. And now let this energy spill out into your aura and let it just start circulating. Again, all of this healed energy, this energy of freedom, this energy of a clean slate. It's just moving up your 10th energy, and now it's in all cells of your body, and it's just circulating through every part of you, your bones, your tissues, your aura, your brain. It knows where it needs to go, and you just have to relax and open up and let this new cleansed energy fill you up. And again, as this experience comes to closure, just know that this will continue to heal you, to fill you up. Your cells are receiving your new codes, your positive ancestral patterns, the wisdom and information that you need. And now bring your awareness back to the center of your heart chakra. Ask for some integration. Maybe we get those scalar waves going to help us integrate our updated codes into our body. And turn this integration process over to your spirit, to source, to Mother Earth. Just trust that it will happen. Thank your guides. Thank your very special ancestor. You can also keep in touch with this ancestor also. Let's all take one more deep breath together. So take a deep inhale and exhale. Start to bring awareness now into your body, your muscles. And before you come back to the room, just keep that somatic experience going and release any remaining resistance. I mean, just imagine your life free of that blame, free of that guilt, fear, and shame, and filled with this new, vibrant information. Just imagine walking through your life and feel that as a somatic experience in your body, in your tissues, in your organs. And when you're ready, you can start to bring movement to your body. If you want to open your eyes, if you're able, I always like to motivate to stand up and take a few steps into your life and stay in it and take one or two steps with this new energy and anchor it into this lifetime. Feels Feel what it feels like to really integrate, to again step into this next part of your life, your healed ancestral codes. And we can bring everything to closure. So thanks everybody. I hope that that was a good healing experience for you. And Pat, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you and open up hand raising.
Awesome, Kristin. Thank you. That was so beautiful. I hope everyone has enjoyed it or gotten something from that experience. I feel much more grounded. I had such a busy morning before I came in and more in touch. And when you talked about in the experience that golden light, I really connect with that energy. And it has just been circulating and flowing through me. So thank you for guiding us through that. I greatly appreciate it. As Kristin said, we're going to open up hand raising. If you would like to come and share anything about this experience or ask a question about what we talked about, that'd be wonderful. And we will also, if anyone would like a reading from us, I'll put a link in the chat for dollar donation from that. For the donation, both of us will read, but that is totally optional. And we just welcome you to come to the stage. And we really appreciate you being here in this energy with us in this experience today. So thank you. Deep gratitude. Imaja, welcome to the stage. It has been such a long time. Didn't see you. Welcome.
Well, thank you so very much, beloved. That was totally awesome and amazing. Okay. I learned so much new information. So today I just have to tell you, Christina, that I learned so much more about the chakras, and I walk barefooted on the earth all the time. Um all the time. All the time. But I never knew that there was a chakra under my feet. Everything that you said today and did really just gave me a wealth of new knowledge, and I need to explore. What else makes it so amazing is every time that I am ready to go to another level, the information that I need to hear always comes from the least expected place and when I least expect it. It's just amazing how this happened today. I mean, just amazing. Awesome. And my oldest ancestor, who was the daughter of the slave master, died at 105 years old. And she's been coming into my spirit. I talk about her all the time, but I never met her. And I want to explore this more. And I would like to get a reading. But I can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. So if the link is in there, I would like to explore this some more. Again, I have a glad heart of gratitude for what you've opened my eyes to the new information, the new wisdom that I've gained about this earthly journey, because I do feel like I am the voice of the generations from my great grandmother that did not own their voice, that couldn't own their voice. And I carried a lot of shame. I carried a lot of blame because was blaming my daddy, and I was blaming my other relatives for all of it. And I've worked through a lot of, but I do know that there is lots more to do, and I will continue this journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming up and sharing that experience. That's awesome. You know, one thing I just want to say is when you said you when you need the information, it just shows up for you. I love that. And that's such a good positive signal that you are on your path and you're in your flow. And one of the things that ancestral healing does for us is it gets rid of the cloud that sometimes can block us from actually seeing that information, sensing, receiving, accepting that information. So I just love that. And when we do these meditations or these experiences together, we're actually connecting to each other as well. And, there's that group field effect. So just all of you being here, you're lifting everybody up by being here and really can really feel you magnifying the existence for everybody. So again, thank you so much for coming up and also just for being so clear on your experience.
I just wanted to jump in. Imaja, you can unmute again, but um, it's really delightful to see you again. It's been a while. We haven't been on Clubhouse. So I'm just happy that you found us and found the information.
Well, today I had to take a break in my car, and I'm sitting in my car right now. And I saw this pop up, and I immediately switched over because I don't get to come that often to Clubhouse anymore. And this is what happens when I listen to Spirit. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I love that. And then also to your point, we did pin a link up at the top if anyone's interested. It's just an email list if you want to stay updated on like when we do these clubhouses and stuff. But if you do sign up for that, you'll get a automated email from us that has links to if you ever want to do a reading. If you mentioned you can't do that now, but that email will just give you all the information that you need for the future. So just wanted to point that out.
Thank you very, very much. And I still feel the vibrations. I am feeling it. I'm feeling it. Oh, awesome.
Fantastic. So we actually have a question that's coming up in the chat asking about um who are the ancestors and how can we communicate with them? Some of the conversation in the chat is about are we talking about our grandparents? Kat, do you want to talk a little bit about who our ancestors are and how we communicate with them?
Sure. Thanks, Kristin. And yes, we can. Thank you for the comment or in the questions. So our ancestors, for not familiar, go our grandparents from each of our parents, our great grandparents, and it keeps multiplying and going back. Sometimes we are familiar with who these people are. Sometimes we don't know who they are, or have not even heard stories of them, depending on our situations or how far back it goes. When we talk about our grandparents and our direct lineage, it's grandparents, great grandparents, and so forth. But other ancestors can be their siblings and aunts and uncles and other relatives. So those are, different ways that we can trace that. And when Kristin's guiding us through the experience, and asking to call forth, like we may not know who the person is, who is the ancestor that came or existed before the trauma, before the blame, shame, or guilt that we were talking about today. And we don't have to consciously know who that person is to call in and ask for that energy to be here and support us. So that is like the briefest description of ancestors and our ancestral lineage. Kristin, I don't know if that's helpful, or you want to keep expanding, or do you want to share more and expand on it yourself?
Yeah, when I first started to work with ancestors, I was also a little bit surprised too about, I was just thinking about the ancestors that I knew. And it took a minute for me to really open up my perspective to say, whoa, there's a whole lot more going on in the energy field that's connecting us all that is beyond what my mind can understand. So, again, I'm not sure if that's helpful or not. One thing I do want to mention that often comes up in the literature and in the teachings is that energetically, we are holding information about our ancestors' experiences in our DNA. So there are blueprints, patterns, codes, again, just information that gets passed down on a cellular level. And the literature often says that that happens for 7 generations, right? So we are still holding, and if you can imagine 7 generations back, we're still holding ancestral information in ourselves that dictates our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health, things that trigger us that may make no sense whatsoever. It could just be the information in our genetics that exists not on a chemical level, but on an energetic level. So, again, opening up that experience or your perspective just to recognize that so much of the and really this is about information in my opinion, just we're carrying around a lot of information that came from, our ancestors well beyond our grandparents. And again, your mind does not need to know who they are. You don't need to picture them. By the time we get to the ancestor that comes forward to help us that existed before our modern day ancestral trauma, there's no way we would have any record of them. So you just kind of sense who they are. So that's my take on it. But again, just as a follow-up question, and Kat, I'll toss this back to you. How do we communicate with our ancestors?
Ah, great question. And I forgot to talk about that earlier when you asked. It's for me, the way I communicate with them is there's a few ways, but I like to just be quiet and silence and start to think about them, even cognitively. This is an energetic process, but for me, I use my mind and as well, and just even start with any memories that I have. And like Kristin said, there are so many ancestors that we don't have any memories or knowledge of. And so communicating them by imagining, by thinking thoughts, by asking for information, by offering gratitude for their existence, because without them, we would not be here. And for whatever they've been through, and really honoring their experience and starting to communicate that ways through, my mind or the felt sense. We also, in some of our work, I don't know if you want me to elaborate more, like we communicate, or I do, using an altar and reverence, and we can get more into that. But there are many ways, but I think setting the intention for me and just being silent, that I am allowing myself to connect with them and allowing the energy to come forward. And I might sometimes, when we talk about communication being two ways, I might have flashes in my mind or my energy field about certain musics or certain foods or something they might be saying. And I am feeling then that that is a way that they are communicating back to me. And then I might have memories or a vision of something. And it's really most likely a vision that I'm receiving of something that that particular ancestor may have experienced in their lifetime. Are there ways that you communicate, Kristin, that you want to share?
Yeah, my background is I am a scientist and an engineer. Like that's what I did for like in my first act as my career. So I like to really approach this from kind of more of a quantum science or quantum healing perspective, but one of my first energy trainings 25 years ago was actually in shamanic healing. So those rituals that bring you into the energy field. So combining those, the way that I love to do it is I need to use my imagination. So I always say it's intention, it's imagination, and it's awareness, right? And the awareness piece is like, what are you sensing? What are you receiving? It could be you're smelling something. It could be all of a sudden you have a taste in your mouth and you have no idea where it comes from. Um, this is all your way of receiving and communicating information. So for me, again, we kind of did this in the experience, but bringing yourself into the center of your heart, like with your awareness, with your feeling, with your intention. But then I like to imagine that that is, it just in my imagination, then I'm sitting in a chamber and I'm just sitting in this beautiful energy chamber and I invite an ancestor in, and together through our imagination, we sit in this chamber and exchange information and talk. Now, one of the parts of the question was, can we really communicate with ancestors that go thousands of years back? And I will say, one of the things that Kat brought up that's really important is to recognize that a lot of times communication is done through a visual. If you go back thousands of years, it probably predates our modern language, or it could be that your ancestors were not English speaking, if you're not obviously going back that far. But so again, it becomes where you just surrender into a type of communication where you're just sensing, knowing, you might have to do some translating. You might just receive information and accept that your mind can't interpret it. But still you're gaining that information on a cellular basis. So then it becomes looking for the language of your ancestors and the language of the universe as you walk through your life. And it may not be just in communication. It could be, I see someone I know whose husband passed away, they see hearts everywhere. And it's things like they're hiking and they look down and there's a rock shaped as a heart, right? Um, they're walking on the beach and they look down and there's a strand of seaweed that happens to be right in front of them that has formed in the shape of a heart. So these are just examples. I have another a teacher, Dr. Sue Morter. She talks about four-leaf clovers popping up, and that's how her deceased mom speaks to her. So again, it's not communication, spoken language per se, and for us, our job is to open our awareness and really be open to receiving information in those non-traditional ways.
May I please comment on that heart-shaped rock?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Himaja.
Oh, this is amazing because during the world retreat, I call the pandemic the world retreat, right? So during that period of time, I discovered a heart-shaped rock in the park that I walk in by the water. I go and I sit on that rock. And then one time when I sit on the rock, some owls came during the daytime, okay? The owls came and they sat in the trees to my right. And I looked at them and I just sat on that rock. And now, since I know where the rock is, I go sit on it periodically just to sit there and meditate on that heart-shaped rock. It is the only heart-shaped rock that I've ever experienced. And I get that experience walking through gardens of sunflowers as well. The sunflowers that are taller than I am, the energy that's in there, I can feel it. It's just amazing how I am open to experiencing new things in different ways, and now they've gotten to be a part of my life. So just like that's with it today, I don't have to. Soon as I change my mindset, it's my mindset that changes, and when it changes, it always appears, it always happens, and I just feel so good about it.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
I was going to say, I love that too, Imash, and it speaks to what Kristin was sharing on how we communicate or receive information, that when we open our mind, and that for me, that's one of the first steps, is like opening my mind to accept that this process of communication with people that came before us, or energy in any form and in general, is that we allow ourselves to get out of our logical and linear thinking, which for me, that was really a struggle, and allow it to exist in other ways. And maybe we don't know all those other ways in the beginning, but we just give ourselves permission to be open to it. So I really appreciate, Imasha, what you said about you opened your mind, and then the rock-shaped heart came on board during the world retreat and so forth. So thank you for that. We are getting close to the time of wrapping up. But before we do, I just want to see if anyone else had any comments or questions or wanted to come up to the stage. Kristin, anything else from you before we close in?
Yeah, just to follow up on the last question that came in through the chat, I'll just go ahead and read it. And I think we've already answered some of this, but again, what is the difference between communicating with ancestors or with other people? Again, I think we just talked about, different ways you can use your imagination. Um, Kat, if we have a few minutes, I would love to hear you talk about your altars as well. But then again, the difference between, ancestors versus living humans, it's usually nonverbal and just looking for those subtle language of your ancestors. But I love what you said here too, at the end of this comment, and it says, I think you can choose a good energy giver person to help us get out of our suffering. And I know you mentioned a little higher too that grandparents have a lot of diseases and they can't heal themselves. I just want to say you're right on with this, right? And in the experience that we did earlier, we called forward an ancestor to do that, to be that positive energy giver that walks around with us and honestly does some of the work for us, right? So let your energy do the work, give your mind a rest, let your body sort of be uh the temperature, right? Taking a temperature of if things are going, if you need to slow down, if you need to speed up. Absolutely, that ancestor is here, and if that ancestor showed up for you, it's volunteering, right? It's fine to be that positive energy beacon that you can ask for help to heal your body and to be that, yeah, to be that cycle breaker. So, Kat, we have a hand raised. Do you want to take that and then maybe talk about your altars a little bit?
Sure. I've tried to bring Wendy up. I don't know if you're able to get that. Oh, there you are. You are now a
Yeah, I was just
speaker.
think I just came on here. How are you, everybody? I went to the dentist, so my mouth is numb. I just wanted to know what this is all about. Like I'm into that, like tarot card readings and stuff. But what did I'm into that family. Like my mother passed away, my grandmother. What is this? How do you go about this? Like how do you what would I have to pay for that? That's my cat scratching stop. What would I have to do for this? Like how does this go?
Sure. So, one thing I would recommend is to do the replay on this because we did a healing. We did a guided meditation um, that you can do, and you can come back to it over and over again if you want to. So again, just look for the replay on that. What we're really talking about is energy here. So we're talking about frequencies, vibration, some of the genetic information that we inherit from our ancestors and how that impacts our health on a cellular level. So yeah, I would say listen to the replay. We did one last week. You can listen to that replay as well. The replay from last week was about kind of washing our DNA and activating some of the information, healthy ancestral gift information. So that's there. And then if you want more information, we have a link pinned to the top, and that's literally just a sign up for our email list. And from there, there's links in it that you can, it'll give you a little trail of breadcrumbs to follow there as well. So, Wendy, thanks so much. I hope your visit to the dentist was okay this morning.
Okay. No, sometimes like I like to gamble. I feel it's in my blood.
Yeah,
Is that something like that?
absolutely, absolutely. There are um, that we inherit, and they are things like addiction, poverty mindset, that kind of stuff. Kat, do you want to talk a little bit to that?
Sure, we'll keep it brief. Wendy, thank you for being
Thank
here
you.
and for your questions. You're welcome. Just as a side note, we're going to start being here every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern for about an hour or so, and continue this theme ongoing on ancestral healing and our lineage and things related to that. But I do believe, like when you say it's in your blood, I mean, there
Yeah,
are people that say it's in the blood, it's in the bones. Like we inherit the energy of our ancestors. We
of
inherit
course.
the thoughts, the experiences. And sometimes, like for me, like I have 3 brothers, we may not have all inherited the exact same thing, or like one person, like or 2 people, I will say my brother, are addicted to alcohol and one to substance, where 2 of us have no addictions. And I do think some of that comes from family trauma in this lifetime, but it also extends back generations. And when you get those feelings or those thoughts, oh, it's in my blood. Yeah, it is. It probably did not start with you. There's a great book, I forget the author. He writes, he's a psychologist, it didn't start with me, or it didn't start with you. These things really do precede us somehow. And we are, like Kristin mentioned, some of us who are drawn to this oftentimes are the cycle breakers, the ones that consciously would like to shift this and change it for ourselves and also for the future. Like when Kristin and I started doing this work with someone else about 3 years ago, the driver for me and us was about shifting the field for our children. We can't work on our children directly sometimes or make them change, but what we can do is go back in the lineage and shift the energetic patterns of what happened. And hopefully, and we've seen it play out for us and clients, that shifts the field for other loved ones. So I don't know if that helps, but just trust that feeling that it's in your blood. And if you want to take it to the next level, that I am going to take the steps to learn how to maybe release this, then you get to do that as well. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate everything. Thanks again.
You're welcome. And thank you for being here. And before we do close up, I wanted to circle back to Kristin's ask about the altars and address what Yes You Can had said in the chat, asking the difference between ancestors and living. I do like to work with physical altars, building them. Many cultures, many traditions do. We're going to be teaching a class in November that covers that more in depth. But when I build an altar, I just create some sacred space on a table or a place in my living area and put things of meaning for me on there. I like to put things from the 5 elements, and call in that energy. If I'm working with a person in my family or on behalf of a client, I will put things and people's names specifically about those ancestors. But I also will do it for the living. If I'm working on behalf of my children or someone else that I would like to touch that hasn't crossed over to the other side of the veil yet, I will also work with the energy of the altar for them. And one thing that I've learned over time regarding altars, if we continue to have it and build it and work with it and grow with it, that energy also continues to build and grow and become more powerful. And we can really use that to connect or communicate and work with it in a living altar. I mean, Kristin, I could talk on hours for this, and I know we're over the time, but does that help get a sense of altars, but for you, or that have chosen? But for me, it's really about creating that sacredness and that sacred connection. And just like the energy work we talk about, there's no necessarily one right or wrong way to do that. There's so many beautiful ways and so many traditions to model after. And for me, it makes it sometimes it brings that work that we do in our imagination, in our intention, really concrete and real, at least for me, like so that I have something tangible to hold on to or see.
Yeah, thanks, Kat. That's beautiful. And it really does come down to, communication, honoring, gratitude, and just connecting to the ancestors. And it can be something really special that activates ancestral healing as well. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So thanks so much, Kat. Okay, we do need to, we're gonna go ahead and close. Um, and just wanted to invite you all to listen to the replay if you missed the actual guided visualization, or if you did experience it and you want to return to it. Again, I saw welcome, Orchid. I saw you come in sort of right here at the end. We did a 10th chakra healing as our experience this week. We will be back next week. I think next week we're going to be doing some quantum healing and talking about, again, another special energy center in our body that is very effective for ancestral healing. So if you want to bookmark stuff, you can do that. We also have that link at the top if you just want to get on our email list, that works too. And just so grateful to see you all here. And Kat, if it's okay, I'll turn it over to you to take us home.
Okay, thank you, Kristin. And again, like Kristin said, thank you all for your time, your energy, your presence today, whether you listened live, came in at the end, or listening on the replay. We really appreciate it. We know your time is valuable, so thank you for being here. We hope there's been value for you. As Kristin said, follow us. You can join the club, the house, whatever it's called these days. We're back on Clubhouse after a couple of year hiatus. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, send us a private message. But again, thank you for your presence. We will continue this next week, and we wish you a wonderful rest of your day and weekend. So
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome, ladies. Thank you for being here. Yamasha and Wendy on stage, and everybody else in the listening audience, Orchid, Sahar, Jim. We really do appreciate it. So enjoy your time. We will see you next week, and we will close the room in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, everyone.